So now we have everything ready to install the Configuration Manager client. But before we go further, I'd like to do some changes on the way the client is presented to the user and the data we collect. So before we install the client, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the way the client sends data, what data the client is sending, how often the client sends the data, as well as the presentation to the user. So this is done on the administration and here under client settings. So by default, everything you do on the default client settings will apply to any user or to any computer. So just be careful with the changes you perform here, because this will apply to every single user. Later on, every single computer. Later on, we are going to change a couple of things only for a certain group of computers. Now you are going to see how we can actually manage multiple client settings. Right now, what the changes we're going to do is for everyone. So the first thing we're going to do is double click, we go to properties. So double click or properties, or here on the ribbon click properties. We're going to change how the client see the user. So the first thing we are going to hear on, well, basically, before we go there, this is everything that the client does. So, for example, client policy. The client downloads or connects to Configuration Manager every 60 minutes. So if you want to change this to happen, so more, less or more, just bear in mind, Configuration Manager support, for example, 150,000 machines or 150,000 devices with the 60 minutes policy. If you change this to 30 minutes, it will not support 150. It will now support half of that, because we put half of the polling interval. So instead of 150, 75. If you put a 15 minutes, then you are going to decrease even more. It is not recommended to decrease the number. So this is how often the client or the user will connect to the Configuration Manager server for download new policies. Okay, normally I don't recommend you to change. And if you want to enable or disable the user policy. So again, Configuration Manager is really forceful on user policy, but now imagine that you are doing this on the servers, so you don't need a user policy on the servers. What I'm going to change is here on the client agent, and I will change here the organization name. So I'm going to put here training lab. So the user will see this information when they use the software center, okay? The other thing I'm going to do is on the software center, if I can find here. Here. And I will use these informations here. And one of the information I'm going to change, for example, is the logo. I'm going to put a nice logo, SRV0001, training files, source. I have here, supposed to have here a image. Oh, sorry, is under not source, scripts. I have here the training lab image. And this is the only change we are going to do here. Okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot here. We are going to put training lab here as well. Also, if we go here in hardware inventory, by default, the hardware inventory is sent every 7 days. So we are going to change the schedule to happen once a day, so every day. And in classes, we are going to change what? No, let's change it just the schedule. And on the software inventory, let's also change this from 7 days to every day. My recommendation is always to disable software inventory. So software inventory basically is not actually looking which software you have, other remote programs and stuff like that. It's actually looking, if I go here to CM Trace, it's looking at the file properties. So we have here on details tab. This is the information is actually configuration manager will collect. So it's actually not which software you have installed, but information about .exe, .dll, and so on. And right now what we're going to do is configure to collect or to inventory all files with that star.exe. Okay, and like I said, I don't recommend, but we are going to do this. You could start instead of star.exe, say program files star.exe, or system roots, system32 drivers, or something like that. So you remove the scope of the search. Okay, and what else we are going to change here? We are going to change the state messaging. So configuration manager client will hold messages and send to the server every 15 minutes. So because it's a lab, we are going to change this to every 2 minutes. So if there is anything to send, it will take up to 2 minutes. Or actually, let's change for 1 minute. If there is anything to send, it will send every minute. So it may cause a bit of process intensive on the client, because this I don't normally put less than 5 minutes. Normally I even leave the default because you don't want to have those things as quick as possible. Okay, only when you are troubleshooting. But when you are troubleshooting, then you're looking the logs and so on. In a normal environment, you're not going to decrease that much. And let's click OK. So I performed some changes. I changed client sets, and if I go back there to the properties, there is a lot of stuff you can change. You can change software update, you can change the hardware inventory stuff, you can change computer restart, information protection or endpoint protection, so the security, the antivirus, Microsoft. So there is a lot of things we're still going through, but before we will then perform these new changes, and then later on we will install the client. I hope you like this video, and I will see you in the next one.